Hi, my name is Kayla Owens, and my paper is One for the Other. I'm going to be discussing Leonardo da Vinci's piece, The Battle of Angahari, which was recently found or thought of as found behind the Vasari piece, The Battle of Marciano. And I'm just going to be discussing the pros and cons between revealing the Da Vinci work and possibly harming the Vasari work, or not revealing the Da Vinci work. Now, the Da Vinci work is actually not finished. So does that play a key part in it? And I also want to look into why the Da Vinci piece was covered up in the first place and why he abandoned it. So, why this topic? I think that the struggle that is happening between those who want to reveal the Da Vinci and those who do not is very interesting. There's a lot of art historians that believe that we shouldn't drill through the Vasari. And it's a very good point because the Vasari is finished. It's a well-known painting. If we drill through it, it could possibly be harmed. And what will we be getting out of it? We don't know for sure that this piece is behind the Vasari. And if once we get to it, what happens if, it's not what we expect? We know that it's probably not finished. We also know that Da Vinci was very into experimenting with paints, and it could be something unexpected behind the Vasari. It also raises some questions as to whether people value artwork as highly now as they did in the past, because do we actually want to see this Da Vinci painting because we're excited about seeing it? Like the Da Vinci, studying it and all that, or is it just this hype because it's new and it's been lost for centuries? I also think it's interesting the different techniques they're using to find this piece and to reveal it. They've done some with thermovision to look at the painting through the Vasari. And I also think just the overall mystery behind why the Da Vinci was covered up and why he abandoned it is very, very interesting. So moving on, our first slide shows a study of horsemen that Da Vinci did for the Battle of Angahari. And basically, he's just showing different perspectives of it, but the cartoons that he did are there's not many of them, so it's definitely interesting to see them. Another cartoon that he did was a study of a warrior's head, which is seen here, and there's a lot of emotion in the warrior's face, so it's interesting what would be in the painting that is here, because it's not finished, so how much of this emotion is in the actual painting. And so because it was not finished, a painter by the name of Pierre Paul Rubens actually finished, and, well, not finished, but he copied the piece, The Battle of Angahari. This is a chalk and pen drawing. And the Battle of Angahari was actually a key victory for the Florentine Republic, which raises a few eyebrows because the Medici family, which was a very, very powerful family at this time, were actually enemies of the Republic. And because of this, we wonder if maybe the piece by Vasari, which is the Battle of Marciano, seen here, was put over the Da Vinci because the Medicis didn't like the other depiction because it was something that didn't look kindly upon them. And this piece actually, in 1554, Cosimo Medici decided that he wanted to conquer the last remaining rival of Tuscany, the Republic of Siena, and that's what this battle is showing. So it definitely ties in with the Medici family extremely well, and it it's something to really consider. They were very, very powerful people. They had a banking empire, very wealthy. It would have been no shock for them to have been able to do this. Another thing to comment on is that Vasari's piece is said to have a man holding a flag that says, "Seek and you shall find." So this kind of raises the question, did Vasari want us to find Da Vinci's piece? Did he want us to, you know, drill through his piece to get to it? Would he have been okay with this? And although that has been found, also there's an article on Discovery.com that states that Vasari would have never covered a work by an artist he admired so much in the hope that one day someone would search and find it. So those are really contradicting viewpoints. And it you know, it's just seeps more into that mystery of this piece and why. And so I think that's going back to the Medici family, why they think that they're such a key part in this, as to why it was covered up. So moving on, as you see here, this piece by Da Vinci, The Adoration of the Magi, is actually unfinished, and this goes back to the Battle of Anghiari because it was also not finished. Now, Da Vinci was known to be a very big procrastinator, and so it could have been nothing to do with the Medici at all. It could have been just that he threw up his hands one day and decided, I don't want to do it anymore, and just walked out. As for this piece, nobody really knows why he didn't finish it. He has a lot of sketches leading up to this, and this just sits undone. And this leads into the fact that he was also a big experimenter with paints, as I said before. In this piece, The Last Supper, which is most famous for him experimenting with paints, he tried to do a fresco in a very different way, and the paint did not seep into the plaster because he used tempera and oil paint, and so the paint started flaking off. And as you can see, the people that owned this building thought it was so awful that they put a door in it. So that just goes to show you that some of the techniques that he was using were not working. And actually I found that he, on the Battle of Anghiari, put an undercoat that was so thick that they think that maybe the paint, when applied, started dripping. So this could be a factor as to why he abandoned the painting. Now, the last reason why he could have abandoned this painting actually goes back to Michelangelo. Now you're thinking, how do these correlate? Well, Michelangelo was actually given the commission to paint the wall opposite of Da Vinci, and he was supposed to paint the Battle of Cascina, or Cascina, and he never finished it. He did a lot of cartoons, but he never actually got around to finishing it. And so this could have been another reason why Da Vinci just decided not to finish his. Maybe he was working and he just decided, if he's not finishing his, I'm not going to finish mine. You never know. So a lot of questions with these pieces, and I think that it's just an overall mystery, and I really want to delve deeper into it and just figure it out. And I think that people are really attached to the story right now because it's such a big mystery. And I think that it's a good thing to do my paper on because I believe that it ties back into our art history class by just, you know, it takes all the people that we've learned about and kind of connects them together in these weird ways, and it's very interesting. So just to wrap up, I find the struggle that is happening between those who want to reveal the Da Vinci and those who do not really interesting, as I said before. And I think that people are starting to kind of feel like they want to see the newest and shiniest objects. And I think that maybe this isn't maybe the right thing. Maybe we shouldn't just be going for the newest and best. We should just stick with what we have, which is a Vasari piece. And that's why I entitled this One for the Other, because really there's a possibility that we could drill through the Vasari piece and we could find nothing behind it and ruin a perfectly good piece of artwork. Is it worth it? That's a question. Thank you for watching.